Hey, welcome back to Paul's Outdoor Academy. I'm doing something a little bit different today. As you can see, I have a can of Chem Dip, which is a Berryman product, and you can probably see a piston here. Now, you're probably already saying, oh man, he's blown his motor up in his boat. No, I actually didn't. This is for a 2007 Mazda 3 project that I'm working on. It's the first time I'm ever trying to actually rebuild the motor. However, I've done a lot of research, and if any of you watch my videos regularly enough to know, the one thing you can count on is that I have researched a lot. So we're going to talk about trying to clean this piston. I've got 2 or 3 others over here that I've already started. We're going to see how those are turning out. And then we're going to see if this is a good way to clean pistons or not when you're trying to rebuild an engine. So we'll be right back and we'll get started. All right, welcome back. And so again, what we're going to be doing is I'm rebuilding a motor out of a 2007 Mazda 3, and it's a 2-liter. And if you're wondering why I've got 4 of these on there, it's the number 4 cylinder. It's just an easy way for me to remember which one it is. And I got the rings out of it. This is a budget build, and so I'm going to attempt to clean all the pistons that I have. This is one that I have not touched. It has not had any cleaning done to it whatsoever. Now in this box, the very first one that I did looks like this. Now this is the one that I have spent the most time on so far cleaning, and it is almost, not brand new, but it looks really good. There's some goop on the top that's making it look really dirty, but it's actually not all that dirty on the top. I don't really care. As long as it's clean on the top, it's going to create the compression that it needs. But the main thing is making sure that this thing is clean enough, that the carbon is off where the new rings are going to go, that all of the ports, you can see this little bitty port hole right there, those have to be open, clear, and you should be able to spray WD-40 in those or some kind of brake cleaner and see it come out around the pivot here, the piston pin. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about kind of how I got to this point. Again, I'm using a chemical that until I started doing this, I've never used this Berryman product before. This is Berryman Chem Dip carburetor parts cleaner. And I'm going to kind of use it like a lot of other people do. And that is just going to be pretty much to clean off a piston just a little bit initially. And then once I get a little bit of cleaning done to it, I'm going to soak it in this for about 45 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to check and scrub what we need to. We're going to see if we can scrape some of the goop off of it. And we'll go from there. But I want y'all to be able to make your own decision on whether you think it's worth it. This is kind of expensive. I think I might have paid close to $35 for this. I know I can get it some places cheaper, but it was at my local AutoZone, and I needed it pretty quickly. So I just grabbed what I could grab. There are tons of different ways to clean carbon. You're going to get 1,000 stories online if you go start looking for how people do it. Again, this is one of the approaches that I saw, and I just wanted to try it and get an idea of whether or not this really works. So in this video, you're going to see me wearing gloves. That's going to be extremely important that I have safety gloves on. You're going to see me wearing goggles. You're going to see me using a vapor. You notice this is black. It's certain types of gaseous vapors and stuff like that. I can't think of the correct term, but they are very dangerous, very harmful to you and your lungs. So if you're going to do much of any of this kind of stuff, you're going to really want to buy you one of these respirators with one of these black cartridges. And then of course I'm going to use some standard brake cleaner, and then I've got a box full of the other 3 pistons that I've already been working on. Now some of these are in various stages. You know, this one is not exactly finished, but you can see it's somewhere between these 2. It's not as good as this one. I mean, it's not as dirty as the one on the left, but on the right, you can see I've been working on it, but this is not finished. This is kind of maybe halfway, a little over halfway through the process. So let's put this back up, and let's get the actual camera going, and I'm going to kind of walk you through what I'm going to do as I do it, and we're going to go from there. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a very light cleaning on this, literally spray some brake cleaner on it and just brush just a little bit of it to maybe loosen it up some. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to soak it in this for 45 minutes. And so once I get it to that part, we'll just turn the camera off and then I'll come back in 45 minutes. There are different ones of these from what I understand. This one has a maximum VOC of 10%. I believe that's volatile organic compounds. I think that's what that stands for. Don't hold me to it. I'll have to look on here. But I'm pretty sure that that's what that means. But we're going to leave that lid on there for now. I'm not going to take it off. It's just loose. So I'm going to come around to where you can watch what I'm going to do. And this is kind of how I'm going to get this started. I'm going to take this piston and I'm going to just kind of spray some stuff on it just to get it started. So I've got that sprayed, and what I'm going to do now is just some general scrubbing like this with a brush. Okay, and again, I'm not trying to get it super clean. I'm trying to just get it started. Maybe trying to loosen up some of the worst of the goop that's on it. And there's some tricks that we'll be doing later. Boy, this one is really filthy. It's crazy that this car was running at all. I'm just going to continue to just try to loosen this up some. There are a couple of tricks to how you can get this goop inside the groove for the ring. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see there's some silver, and then all of a sudden, blah, there's just a lot of black goop right here. And we got to get that out of there. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And I think what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to stand here 45 minutes, is as soon as I get it in the can, I'm going to walk away so that I don't have to sit here and breathe. And I don't feel like putting this on for right now, the respirator. I'm not going to put the respirator on. I'm just going to dump this in here as fast as I can and get away from here. If you've never used the Berryman product at all, the Chem Dip in this, it comes with a basket inside the can, which is extremely helpful. And so what I'm going to do is just put this piston in here like this.
It puts the piston in the basket.
And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to walk away now, and I'm going to let this sit for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. It's been right at 40 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and get this out and check it. I'll get you a look at it before I touch it with any kind of bristles or anything, and we'll see how clean it came. All right, so this is what we got, which it's not perfect. It still needs some work. So let me get a lid on this so I can take off these respirators. All right, so I got those off. Hopefully you can understand me. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing on these other ones, which is a trick a lot of people know about that I didn't. But you're going to see some grime down in here that's really thick. That's hard to get off. You can see a real shiny silver, and then it turns black. There's a lot of grime in here. And since you're going to be using new rings, here's a trick. Take one of these, let's break it in half. Snapped in half, pretty easy. Kind of scary if you think about it. But we're going to use this little edge on this to help clean the grooves. All right, so by this, I literally mean I'm going to put this in the groove like that, and I'm going to just start pressing it around. I'm not going to press super duper hard, just enough to try to help start knocking some of this stuff loose. I'm going to have to put a little bit more elbow grease into it. It absolutely is definitely coming off. So I haven't even sprayed it yet, but you can see that's breaking that up. Now, you can see how much of that black stuff came off. I haven't really worked on this side very much, but that's looking pretty good. And now I'm going to take a soft bristled brush, and I'm just going to kind of start working this like this. You will have to spray quite a bit. You got a bunch of options here. You can put it back down in the Berryman again to continue to loosen it up. I'm now going to just use a brush and some brake cleaner, and then I'm going to use the ring to get any of these little cracks full of the black goop, like that right there, that black area. I'll use that ring to get as much of that out of there as I can. And from here, there is just some manual work to this. So the Berryman product worked pretty good. I can't sit here and say that it's 100% finished. I've got a little more cleaning to do, but taking a look at the before and after, this is what it looks like after I've spent 20 minutes of elbow grease and soaked it in the Chem Dip from Berryman. I'm gonna get you real close, but you can see it's definitely starting to look really clean. It's not done. I still see some stuff in there. It's got to come out, but it's definitely getting a lot cleaner. The Chem Dip so far has been a pretty darn good product. Thank you for joining me for another video and kind of a product review, I guess. I hear deer running. There's some deer right here.